Hey everybody, welcome to Hump Day Hangouts. Today is the 1st of June, lovely first day of June here for me, hopefully for you guys too. This is episode 82, and we've got almost everybody with us. I think Chris must have had something come up, but how's it going, Hernan?
Hey everyone, it's really good to be here.
Hey Marco, what's up?
Hey everybody, what's up? Warm and raining in Costa Rica, man. Raining again. Every afternoon.
Hey Bradley, what's up?
Hey man, glad to be here.
Good deal. Well, we got a few short announcements. We're going to have a great webinar for you guys. I'm going to drop the link in here shortly. SEO and the Semantic Web, that's Monday, June 6th. I'll let Marco talk about that real quick here if we want to fill them in on why they should be showing up.
If they want to rank, they'll show up. If they don't, then don't.
Enough said.
And before everybody asks, there's probably not going to be a replay, guys. So, try to make it if you can. It's 3 p.m. June 6th, Monday, June 6th.
In all seriousness, I am giving a bunch of stuff away that other people won't touch, that other people either don't know about or don't want to share. I'm just going, because I hate, you know how I hate just these marketers that peddle garbage, right? I hate that. I hate that when it's not tested, when they don't vet it out, when they don't go and see whether the crap that they're pushing works. They just push it because they have a name, not necessarily because it works. We're the opposite. We test everything, and we actually figure out whether we can break it before we even make it, and then we give it to our people to test. And then once we've done that, we make it public. And so I just hate the way that it's being done. I just hate the way people are being made to spend money on stuff that doesn't work. And so I'm just giving stuff away. I'm going to tell you how to rank. And if you want to know, come join me. And if you don't, it's okay. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, well, yeah, so by all means, we'll post it again later, but you guys click on it, sign up. That's Monday, so coming up pretty soon. Also, tomorrow, Mastermind members are going to be talking with Lisa Allen. We'll be talking to her about Rank Feeder Pro, which is just now rolling out, and our Mastermind members are going to get kind of first chance to get a special deal on that. She's going to be talking about co-citations and some other really cool stuff she's doing with RSS feeds. So we've talked to her, and we are going to be able to share some of that information with everybody, but that's going to be a little bit later than Mastermind members. So without I think anything else, or anybody else have anything before we get started?
That's it, man.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Yeah, and I think probably within 2 weeks we'll have a replay out for the Lisa Allen stuff once we edit it and get it, prepared. So, you guys, if you're not in the mastermind, you'll still probably get a chance to see it. I'm going to go ahead and grab the screen, lock it on me, and we'll get right into questions. Looks like we got a bunch of questions already. So let's
Good deal.
not waste any time. All right, so first question. Hi, Bradley Benner. Can you tell me, please? I am going to purchase some PBN domains from bluechipbacklink. Should I use these domains to 301 redirects to my money site? Because I think that when using 301 redirects, my PA and DA money site will increase more faster, or I need to, or I guess, do I need to 301 redirect to my IFTTT network or rebuild them and add backlinks to the money site? All right, so for the first question, I don't like to do a bunch of 301 redirects direct to my money site. I might do a couple of them. It depends on what the overall backlink profile is, but if you only have a handful of links already, or if that's all you have already, then I wouldn't do a whole bunch of 301 redirects. Typically, I'll do, I don't have like a rule of thumb. I just look at the overall backlink profile and try to sneak a few 301 redirects into it if possible, but I just think it looks unnatural, especially if you do several of them in a short period of time. So instead, what I like to do is either build out the domain that I purchased, just using the archive.org content, which makes it incredibly simple and fast to set up, and then put a backlink to the site that way. And then if you want to do additional domains that you have that have good metrics, they're topically relevant, that kind of thing, then you can 301 redirect those domains to the buffer site that you just set up. So instead of pointing a whole bunch of 301s directly to your money site, you're pointing them to a buffer site that you've rebuilt on one of those domains that you purchased. Or you can use an IFTTT property or any other tier 1 link really that has a do follow link back to your money site. You could redirect the 301, 301 redirect those domains that you purchased directly to them. So that's the quickest and easiest way to do it. Obviously, if you want to get more IP diversity and domain diversity pointing directly to your money site, which there's a case for that as well, then I would say go ahead and rebuild the old domains. The domains that you purchased, rebuild them with the content that you can pull right out of Bluechip backlinks from archive.org. And put a link on it. That's the best way to go. But if you're looking for speed and trying to get shit done quick, then just rebuild one of them or find a good tier 1 link already that has a do follow link pointing your money site and just 301 redirect to that.
Yeah. And to add to what you're saying, Bradley, I think that it will strongly depend on also what you can find on Bluechip backlinks, because at some point, for example, you can find those domains that they have like 1 or 2 backlinks, really, really powerful backlinks. And in those cases, like for 1 or 2 backlinks, I don't know if it makes sense to actually mount those domains as a PBN. You would be better off like 301 it, as you were saying, to an IFTTT network or something like that. But then again, you can find really, really good expired domains with good metrics, and those will definitely work fine as a PBN, So it's a matter of I think making the call when it comes to actually mounting it or 301 it. I would still do what you were saying, as to keep the 301s as low as possible, or 301 it to a tier 1 property or something like that. But there you will find with Bluechip backlinks some really, really good domains with a couple powerful links, but also branded links and a good history, and those can definitely be a PBN at some point.
Yep. Next question is, I have created IFTTT networks for my money site. Now can I build GSA links to the properties on this network? I'm considering buying FCS Networker, but many people said FCS Networker does not work effectively now because it has the low success rate for creating the accounts and submitting. I have purchased a package in Serp space to power up IFTTT networks, but I want to try to do it myself. Do you have any suggestions? Thank you. Well, I'm not the spam tool guy, so I'm going to defer to Hernan, but yeah, I mean, if you know how to use GSA and you're good with it and you're skilled with it, then yeah, you can build links directly to your IFTTT properties, but you just want to keep it the links that the targets that you're scraping, you want to keep them clean, and you're try to keep higher quality properties for your first tiered links, your first set of links to your tier 1 properties. In other words, you don't want to just spam the shit out of your tier 1 properties, which would be your branded IFTTT network. Right. So if FCS, I don't know about the FCS networker being a low success rate. That may be the case. I don't run any of the spam tools, so I don't know that. But if that is the case, then either find another tool that is comparable to FCS networker that may be working better at the moment, or learn how to use GSA but use it properly, which a lot of people just don't know how to do. There's a really steep learning curve. So what do you think, Hernan?
Yeah, I think that you nailed it, Bradley, because the way we're doing it is that we have scraped and we have these huge lists that we filter a lot, so that we end up sending just a handful of backlinks. And that's the thing, when you're powering up your tier 1s and even further your IFTTT properties, you need to you need to tread lightly, because those are branded properties, and you want to treat them as extensions of your money sites. Even though they are, on high domain authority or high trust flow backlinks, they will withstand the pounding of many backlinks. You want to send just a handful of links. That's why we were using FCS Networker. You do not need a ton of backlinks. You just need a handful, like 10, 20, maybe 50 backlinks per property or something like that. Yeah. You can also use like something like RankerX, Turbo Web 2.0. So that way you're buffering your links, and then you can go to town, hammering those backlinks. But the main thing here is that you protect and you try not to burn out your IFTTT networks or any tier 1 network for that matter.
Yep. And yeah, I know our link building guy, he uses FCS, but he also uses RankerX and TurboWeb 2.0, and he uses a bunch of those tools. the ones that are using more social media type properties like Web 2 properties and as the first layer. So that's what we'll build, a layer of those to the IFTTT network. And then, so those would be essentially their tier 1 links to the IFTTT network, but to the money site they're tier 2 links, right? And then we go one layer behind that, and that's where he'll spam with GSA. So.
Yep.
All right, next question. Let's see. Hey, Bradley, what do you think the current state of video SEO in the local game is? Not having a ton of success getting my videos to rank on the front page when I'm going head-to-head against a Serp that has a map pack. Am I just not trying hard enough? No, that's not the case, Elliot. It just depends on the keyword phrase. Most of the time, if you're having, trying to think if I can pull up some examples here. Let me just do this. You guys are seeing my full screen, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So if we go to Google and we search, I don't know, let's just look for, this is going to be pretty, a plumber Dallas, right? All right. So one of the things that I've noticed, now this isn't the case, but I've found that this is an indication of whether or not a video will rank easy. Again, this is not definitive. It's not set in stone or a hard and fast rule. Okay. But if you search the keyword and you see the video's vertical search tab showing in the menu up here, it typically means that it's easier to rank a video, or more likely that you'll get a video on page 1. Again, that's not always the case, but what I found is if you don't see videos up here in the search menu, and it's in the drop down, so it's in the supplemental menu over here, that it's more difficult to rank a video. Again, it doesn't mean that that's like the case all the time, because I've proven it wrong both ways. In other words, I've been able to rank a video when video was in the supplemental menu. I've also ranked videos when it's been over here. As far as the maps pack, the same thing. A lot of the times when you see a maps pack, that means that sometimes it's more difficult to rank a video. But it's not always the case, because I've actually had videos that ranked above the maps pack. Not so sure about that now, because the maps pack is different than what it used to be when it was like a 7-pack. But I can still rank videos with when there's maps packs. It just depends on the keyword. All right. So what I would suggest is that it's certainly not that video SEO isn't working. It may not be working as well as it was, but I'm still ranking videos for clients all the time. And it's not, maybe it's just not, I don't think it's that you're not trying hard enough, but maybe your networks aren't strong enough, or maybe you need to do some more supplemental stuff other than just using your IFTTT networks, guys, because obviously, they're not the magic bullet. Sometimes you need to do more than just syndicate to an IFTTT network to get a video to rank, but there's a lot of tricks that you can do, advanced video SEO tricks. We've talked about many of them here that can help you to rank a video. So I don't think it's whether or not you're trying hard enough, but it may just be that you need some additional push. My thought is always, when it comes to video SEO, is I'm always looking for keyword combinations for whatever niche I'm trying to rank for that I can rank with a lot easier. So going after something as broad as like plumber Dallas, that would be very, very difficult to rank for. I can tell you that. And that's probably why there's not a video on page 1 for that. However, if you were to find something like, emergency plumber Dallas, or 24-hour plumber, or plumbing repair, or faucet repair, or, water heater service and repair, or something like a lot more specific and long tail, that's going to be generally easier to rank as well. And I'm sure you know that. But that's why whenever I'm doing video SEO for clients, I always test several keywords first. And I'll just run something like Hangout Millionaire or Buddy VIP, and now Peter Drew's got a new one out called YouTube PokerBot that I just actually picked up. I haven't tested it yet, but that will poke keywords as well. And I'll run a test on a handful of keywords, 6, 8, 10 keywords to try to find the sweet spot, like the ones that will rank with little to no additional work. And then that's when I'll go back to the client and say, okay, here's the keywords that I can rank you for. Will any of these work for you? And if not, then we just won't do it, because I don't like to commit to a client for a video SEO job for a keyword that I have very little chance of ranking. So that's why, like I said, when I go to give a quote to a potential client, I'll find out what they want to rank for, and then I'll do a test across several different keywords. and I'll figure out which ones are going to be the easiest to rank, and then I'll go back to them and say, okay, here's what I can do for you. I can't rank you for this main keyword here, but I can rank you for these 3 longer tail keywords that should give you some pretty good traffic, and I'll do all 3 of these for the same price as this one main keyword, the broader keyword, or something like that. Because, I mean, think about it, guys. If you can rank a few keywords, like say 3, 4 keywords for a potential client, they're longer tail, but with little to no additional work other than just optimizing the video and live streaming it or uploading it to your channel, and still collect a monthly check, what difference does it make? You know, like some people say, well, you know, if you're charging $150 a month to rank a video for a client, you know, you mean to tell me you'll rank 3 videos for them for the same price, 150? Yeah, because am I going to go into a dogfight to rank a very broad keyword and spend a ton of time doing additional off-page SEO stuff to rank the video, or should I go after 3 long-tail keywords that will rank with little to no additional work whatsoever and still collect the same amount of money? Does that make sense? So, I mean, that's my point is typically if you're having difficulty, you're probably going with keywords that are a bit too broad, and so that's why I'll give a package deal on you know, longer tail keywords for the same price so that I can just get the job done and start collecting money.
And when you need that extra thump, Video Powerhouse.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's that, and I mean, and there's a lot of things that you can do. I mean, we just did a whole entire training on crowd search. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we did an update on how to use crowd search for SEO and video SEO and stuff like that, and that's something else that you can add to your arsenal. I don't know, Adam, if you want to drop the link to the replay that we did. We did a whole entire webinar about that just 2 weeks ago, and that's another thing that you could do. So, and I mean, there's a lot more than just that, by the way. Paul says, hi Bradley, Marco, Adam, Hernan, and Chris. I picked up a client that wants a branded network built for his business. He already has a G+ profile with a YouTube channel with 488 videos in it, but doesn't have a G+ page. Okay. My question is, how do we build a G+ page and keep the original channel as part of the network? That's simple to do. You just go create a new Google+ page, and then you associate the channel with the page. All right, and we have talked about this before, but I'll walk through this. Adam, this might be a good note to, we could make this an FAQ on our support site. Yeah. If you want to make a note of that. Let's walk through this, guys. Let me, first of all, we'll go over here and we'll select a channel. Let's just find one. I've got a ton of channels in here. A lot of them I don't even use. But let's just find one. Let's just go with this one. All right, so this is a channel that I had set up for some lead gen stuff. I don't think I ever ended up using it. But you can see that, yeah, I guess there's a couple things in here. But anyways, if this channel didn't have a page, or even if it did have a page, it doesn't matter. All you need to do is take the existing channel. So say this is the existing channel that has 488 videos on it that you were talking about. You know, be logged into that as that channel, right? So, and then go over here, hit the settings button, the settings icon, the gear icon, and then you'll see where it says advanced. And you can see where it says move channel to your Google account or different Google Plus page right there. That's it. So all you got to do is you just got to make sure that you you can move your channel from essentially what this does is it allows you to assign a channel to a different Google Plus page or to a Google Plus page for the first time if it had never been assigned one. You know, you guys know now when you create a new channel, it automatically assigns a Google Plus page, a corresponding Google Plus page. However, if you have a legacy YouTube account, which is an older before it was integrated with Google Plus, you should still be able to click on the the settings, go to advanced options, and then you should still see this move channel to your Google account or different Google Plus page, and this is where you would assign it to a new page. So you'd create the page, right? If you hired us to create your IFTTT accounts, or even if you did it, it doesn't matter. You create the new Google Plus page when you're setting up all your new profiles or all your new accounts for your IFTTT network, and then just go do what I just said, logged in as that channel, the old channel that you want to associate with the new page. Okay? You said last week and 100 other times, build separate networks for blog syndication and video syndication network. My client posts 2 videos and 2 blog posts per month. Question 2 is, how do I syndicate both videos and blog posts at the same time with one network, or do I have to build 2 networks? No, whenever I answer this question, I always say the same thing too. So that is, if you are going to be syndicating the same network, you certainly can. Just make sure that when you do those 2 videos per month, if you're going to go, a lot of the times what people will do is they will take their videos from their channel, they'll upload or live stream videos to their channel. Then they'll go over to their blog and they'll create a post that is nothing other than just the video. Like they'll use the same title of the video and as the post title, and then they'll just embed the video and then sometimes the YouTube description or whatever, so that they now have a blog post on their blog that also gets syndicated, but it's to the IFTTT network. It ends up looking at like duplicate posts because your blogger blog, for example, will have syndicated the YouTube video with the exact match title and just the video and in the whatever's in the description area based on your recipes, and then the blog will syndicate to blogger.com as well, and it will be the same thing. So my point is it's okay if you want to syndicate both your YouTube channel and your blog to the same network. Just make sure that your blog posts are unique titles, and that's it. If you want to upload videos or live stream videos to your channel, they're going to syndicate out as is from your YouTube channel. When you create blog posts, just make sure that they're unique. They're not the exact same duplicate as the YouTube. You can embed the same video, that's fine, but just make sure that the post itself is unique so that it's not looking like duplicate posts on your IFTTT network properties. Okay? Success testimonial. I did what Marco said with the Twitter iframes last week. I kept doing it. At the beginning of the week, my client's map was nowhere to be seen, and his website is not on the first 5 pages. On Friday, I slammed his map all the way to #1 in the map pack. Fucking A, that's awesome.
Boom.
I just +1. Did everyone go +1 Paul Fussel's post? And his website is, let's see, wait a minute, and his website is still not on the first page. Totally awesome. Can't wait for Monday's webinar. Okay, so what he's saying is that as far as the organic listing, that hasn't shown up to page 1, but he was able to hammer his maps listing to #1 in the 3-pack, guys, and that's exactly what we've been showing how to do inside RYS Academy for the last several months. So,
is that webinar free? Is that webinar for free, or can we charge like $200-300 to access?
for which one? The RYS webinar?
Yeah, the RYS that Marco gave
or
away.
The one we're doing on Monday, you mean?
Oh yeah. Can we still charge?
Yeah, that's
free. A bunch of people sign up. Yeah.
People are
we can send a mass email.
7K, 10K, 15K for this.
Right.
Paul, congratulations. You took action. That's all you have to do, man. That's all you have to do.
That's right. Stop consuming stuff and just consuming information and just take action, right? Just want to show my gratitude to all of you guys. You made it possible to improve my business and success with all my clients. Thanks. You're welcome, Paul. Thank you for your testimonial. That's awesome, dude. Robert says, building out a master domain site and goal is to rank for cities over 100K in population. A rank and rent site with overlay should work in this niche since it involves inventory posting and is in the auto niche. Okay. You mentioned that using the overlay method could have adverse effects if Google does a review. That's correct. Would it be better to than just redirect each, let's see, keyword plus city ranking page in the SERPs to the customer's site? Or will this hurt my site since there is no time on site, and would Google... Yeah, no, that won't work. Because if you rank your site and then you 301 redirect the page to client's page, that doesn't mean that the client's site is going to rank. That's not how that works. Because if you rank the pages on your site and then you 301 redirect a page or post to a client's site, then their site has to be optimized basically the same. It would have to be basically the same content as the page that you had ranked already, or else it may not have any effect at all. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's just like a backlink. And if you're doing, well, I don't know how you're building that. I don't know if you're using like Serp Shaker or Lead Gadget or what, but it really doesn't matter. My point is that unless the client site you have control over the on page of the client site, which in this case I don't think you'd want to do, then redirecting isn't gonna do much. It would just be acting as a backlink at that point to that site, right? So my point is like what I do with these guys is with these types of sites, if I was going to be building out like manually a site, then I would not do an overlay. I would maybe use some sort of custom theme or a plugin, something like Thrive's content builder plugin, or maybe even use ClickFunnels or something like that, and or OptimizePress. You could use that and create different landing pages for the clients on each, whenever you got it rented out, where you could swap out. Like what I would do is probably templatize the page, that where I could have like banners or grab a place for the customer's logo, a call to action with their phone number, their contact information, or whatever, and that's how I would rent it out. But that way I would have control over the page. The problem with using an overlay, guys, is that it's okay if you're doing like churn and burn type sites, like what I do with the ATM, the lead gadget and the ATM. I build 25, 30, 35 sites targeting essentially one keyword, one keyword plus city. Right, and then whatever ends up ranking, I'll use the WP overlay. But all I'm using, or the overlay plugin, which will iframe another page on top of the page that's actually ranking. But what I'll use is first of all, the underlying site is a churn and burn. I never expect those sites to last for long. Some of them have been been up for years, but I don't expect them to last for long. Number two, the overlay site, the one that I'm laying on top of it, is always a landing page that I have created on a throwaway or a non-indexed domain, a domain that I set to no index, right? Because I don't want Google penalizing a money site, so I would never overlay a money site directly on top of one of those sites. Because you can, by the way, you can get a penalty on both the overlay site and the underlying site for cloaking, okay? And that's why I wouldn't do it. So if I were you, I would probably, if you're building this out manually, I don't know because you didn't specify whether you're doing this with the mass page generator or if you're doing it manually, but if you were doing it manually, I would create some sort of page template that could swap out logos and contact details very easily, and then build it out that way. Okay? That way it would pass a manual review, and all you would have to do is swap out the contact details for whoever the client is that's renting the page from you. The 301 route isn't going to help you, though.
No, but if going the 301 route, if he clones the page that's ranking and 301s it should. It'll dance, but the ranking should go.
Yeah, but he'd have to clone that page and put that on the client domain.
Right.
That's what I'm saying, and I'm not sure that he's going to have access to that because remember, with the rank and rent method, a lot of the times you don't even want to touch the client site.
Right.
So that's how I would do it. If you're using, if you're using a mass page generator, just create landing page on a subdomain. That's all you do is, buy an XYZ domain, for example, for under $1, and then set up all of your landing pages on that one domain, and just use that and set it to no index when you create the site, right? So and then use those landing pages that you create there as the overlay. All right. All right, it says, hi, let's see, I have another question about how to syndicate my old content on my website. I posted them 1 year ago, and I just purchased IFTTT Network. Should I post all of my old content to IFTTT Network via Onlywire? I didn't know you could even do that. I'm not sure how that works. And then collect RSS feed for RSS submission. I can schedule 2 posts per day, and after 1 month, all my content will be syndicated in my network. What do you think about this, or how do you think about this? I didn't know you could syndicate to IFTTT via Onlywire. I didn't even know you could do that. I'm not sure how that works. Let's see.
He can use the plugin.
Yeah, but
the Semantic Mastery plugin.
I don't know that the free version has that ability.
Oh, okay.
I think the premium version does, but you have to be a mastermind member for that. Did we ever find a solution for that will, outside of our plugin that's for mastermind members, do we find anything that will republish or, bring old posts back into the feed so that they can resyndicate?
Backlink Commando will do it?
Nah, Backlink Commando is not supported anymore. They don't even sell it anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because, I think there was a plugin, it's called Ping Fresh. I think it was from Terry Kyle as well. We'll need to dig it up. But yeah, last thing we used was Backlink Commando for the.
But they stopped supporting that a few months ago.
There's actually a plugin called Republish Old Posts.
Oh, okay. There you go. Republish old posts. So that's what I would do. I would just connect your blog's RSS feed to your IFTTT network. And if either join the mastermind and get our plugin, or find another option like republish old posts plugin, which will bring it back into the feed so that it can be syndicated again. Okay. The alternative option, by the way, just so you guys know, we have in the past when I've had issues with this before our plugin, before we had that functionality built into it, was I would take like a Blogger blog or something and then connect that to my branded IFTTT network and then manually just post the content from my blog to the Blogger blog, like one at a time, and then that would syndicate to the rest of the network. And that's just like, that's another way to do it. But if you can figure out a way to avoid that, it's even better. Okay, happy video man. Nate Gilbert. Okay, cool. He says, hi Bradley, my question is, how do you get around an HVAC client who has no Google reviews and does not want to bother with it? Is there a way to still rank him in the 3-pack? Yeah, you don't need reviews to rank in the 3-pack. It helps, especially if there is a correlation between having reviews and ranking. Not spam reviews though. I mean, those can be pretty obvious. Although there's a lot of that spam going on in Map still right now. So, and they're still working. It's still working well. But what I would suggest is, you don't need Google reviews to rank unless you're in a particular search term that is pretty review heavy, in which case you're going to want them anyways. So, but
Paul Fusco just said what you need to rank in the 3-pack, didn't he? The previous testimonial.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't need reviews to rank in the 3-pack. I mean, there's things you can do like what we do with RYS Academy. I just took a brand new listing to, in under 3 days and put it in the Maps pack that has 0 reviews. It's a brand new listing. So, again, you don't need it. If the client, look, the thing is, if you have a client that says he doesn't want to bother with it, I get that, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. The only way that a lot of the times when I've had clients that I've tried to get them to be proactive with review campaigns, unless I set everything up for them, like the whole campaign, the outreach to existing clients, asking for it, all that kind of stuff, then they never end up following through with it anyways. So to me, it's like, you just got to have a discussion with them and say, look, do you want more leads for your business? If you do, then this is something that you're going to have to do. So that's all I want to say is just, the thing is sometimes clients won't do what they need to, even though it's in their best interest to do so. And that's in part why they hired people like us. But sometimes they won't even listen to our advice, even though they're paying us to advise them. You know what I mean? And so if it is what it is, you just got to try to get them there some other way, if that's the case. But I would make sure that they know that especially if they're competing against other contractors that are receiving reviews, you need to explain to them that it's not only going to help with their search positioning, which will get them more leads, but even if they were to show up in the 3-pack and the other 2 listings in the 3-pack have, a dozen, 20 plus, whatever reviews, and this one company has no reviews, most likely people aren't going to call the one that has no reviews. They're going to call the ones that already have some social proof, right? So it's kind of you need both, right? You need to have both reviews and rank in the 3-pack if you're competing with others that have reviews, is what I'm saying. So, Ray says, which is the best mass page builder? My opinion, hands down, no question, Lead Gadget and the ATM. That's, in my opinion, hands down the best, and it's because I know I've been with them for a year and a half, and I know that my partner Marco has been working on it, doing a bunch of coding updates in it, and I know it's better than anything else out there.
Yeah, my answer is biased, of course, because I'm involved in the coding. And besides, the others, like if you're doing a plugin, you can't compare. You can't compare a plugin.
It's apples to oranges. Yeah.
Yeah, to something that's cloud-based. It's totally different. I mean, the functionality that we're getting into Lead Gadget is going to take it just so far ahead of anything else. It's ridiculous to even compare.
Yep. I mean, I've got two VAs. I got 2 VAs that I trained that are building sites for me now. That are building. Each VA builds about 15 sites per day. Those are 15 30,000 page or post sites. Think about that, guys. And that's each one of them are building 15 sites per day, and that includes the fully, like, starting from scratch, picking up a domain, building out the site, deploying it 30,000 posts, and then going back in and doing the cleanup. And they're doing roughly between each of them are doing about 15 sites per day, 5 days a week. So each of them are outputting about 75 nationwide sites per week. It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah. I was about to say that I have some marginal experience with MPC, Mass Page Creator. It's good if you're doing like at some point we were doing like 3 million pages or something like that. But the caveat is that the learning curve is super steep because it's all HTML and tokenized. So I would still go with Lead Gadget, potentially Serp Shaker, but Lead Gadget as well, because MPC is really good when you're trying to create a ton of HTML pages. But you know that's the thing with it. It's super steep to learn. So.
Yeah, and what I like about using the ATM is you get the it's WordPress. So once the sites are deployed, you can add plugins and do all kinds of cool shit with it. Number one, you can change stuff and add stuff if you need to. With the HTML sites, it's a bit more difficult to do that kind of thing. Also, with Serp Shaker, look, there's plugin like Serp Shaker is a great plugin. I get that. That's fine. It depends on what your scale is. Like, let's put like
exactly what I was gonna say actually, and just say that there isn't that maybe one is always a clear cut. That there's use cases that I think define these.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. If you're going to be doing a lot of these in mass, then the ATM is in my opinion, better because it's a site builder. It's not just a plugin. So you don't have to already have WordPress installed, and then build out pages either on a local server or whatever. Like this is like it's all done in the cloud. You press a deploy button, and it goes out and adds the domain to the server and deploys the site, builds the database, all of that. And it's really cool. So all your building is done inside just a cloud-based app, and it works really, really well. Ryan says, can having an over-optimized site affect map rankings or just organic rankings? It's a good question. I would think it could affect both, but I'm not 100% sure on that because typically I rank for local lead gen sites. I try to rank in the maps, and I don't even care about organic rankings. And so I, just optimize my sites like I typically do. And as soon as I rank in maps, I quit working on them. So honestly, I'm not 100% sure if it the algorithm between the local and organic is closer now, is more similar than it ever has been, right? And so I would say that there's probably a correlation between that, but I'm not 100% sure. Do any of you know for sure?
No.
No, not for sure.
No.
Yeah. I mean, we get away with some crazy stuff with maps right now based on what we're doing, and that has very little to do with on-page on the site other than just the schema.org connection with the same as attributes and the structured data on the site itself. But again, I haven't definitively proven one way or the other, Ryan. So unfortunately, I can't give you a definitive answer. But I would assume that there's more of a connection there than there has been in the past. Next question. Hey guys, Dan here. What's a canonical? All right. Well, I'm going to tell you to do this because sometimes questions like this are just best to go search what's a canonical and then just do a little bit of research, guys. Just go look. What is a canonical? But a canonical in short terms, and I'm not going to go into deep into this because you can go research it by just searching what is a canonical in Google and go look through a couple of these blogs and you'll get a really good understanding of what a canonical is. But essentially what a canonical is when you have a page on a site that has content similar to another page and you want to pass all credit from that page to the other page. So in other words, if you have page A and page B, and page A is very similarly, the content is very similar to page B, same topic, whatever, and you want to pass all the credit from page A to page B because you want, let's say, page B to be the one that ranks, you can set a canonical. All right? And what that'll do is it'll pass it'll give all credit. In Google's mind, it'll give all credit. The other thing is, let's take a look at this. Okay. Cross domain. What I do? Spell it wrong? Yeah. Okay. Take a look at this. I believe this is it. Yeah, this is it. This is a good article that was actually published on Google's blog on Tuesday, December 15th of 2009. This talks about cross-domain canonicals, and this will make some sense to you. This hopefully will clear up some of your questions about what canonicals are. But we talk about using canonicals in the mastermind in some pretty ninja ways, and one of our students actually just had a post, well, a couple months ago about it, or within the last month or two, about how he used canonicals and got some really good results. He was able to accomplish exactly what he was trying to do. So anyways, let me just post this on the page real quick. Canonical. Just go read through some of these guys. You'll be fine. You'll figure it out. All right, where were we?
Scott Rogers is next.
Wait a minute. Actually, it's Robert, right? Yeah, Robert Gage. Says,
oh, yeah, that's right.
do you know if there is any way to have IFTTT recipes that will connect with Shopify or the blog? Yeah, as long as Shopify has an RSS feed.
Which it does, and not only that, but Shopify has feeds for products and collections. But yeah, your Shopify store comes with a blog, and so you can either use that or do something else, but it natively has its own RSS output.
Yep, as long as it has an RSS output, just use that as your trigger. That's it. If not, yeah, just like what he said. So, and I don't know, does Shopify connect to IFTTT? I don't know that it does. I don't think it does.
No, I doubt it, but it's got its own. I mean, it's got its own
feed, so that's all.
Yeah, so you don't have to take it to FeedBurner. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but yeah, it's got its own feed. I think it's Atom feed. Yeah.
Scott Rogers says, "What is the business model of IFTTT? How do they survive without revenue?" I don't know, Scott. I honestly don't know. I think at some point they will switch to a paid platform, and you know, where it'll be like subscription based, like what Zapier's like, or Deliver It, something like that. I've been expecting that to happen at some point or at any time, but honestly, I don't know. I really don't care as long as it's free, and even if it does end up going paid, it doesn't matter. I would still pay for it, you know, because it's so powerful. Like obviously, if I was doing client work, the client would end up paying for that. If it was my own lead gen stuff, it would be a small price to pay for the benefit. It'd just be like buying link packages or social signals services or whatever, right? It would just be the cost of doing business. But for as far as I know, I'm not sure how they generate revenue. Do any of you have any idea?
I do not right now, and I'm just looking through. I just did my own search and was looking at Quora and stuff for some answers, and I'm not seeing anything. So yeah. I think right now they must have been funded somewhere because they've got to have a decent amount of servers. So
yeah. Robert says, hello again. So back to the Shopify store question. If I have a self-hosted WordPress site branded, and I have a Tier 1 branded IFTTT ring built, and I only have a link to the Shopify store from the WordPress site, would the mention of the product sold within the store on the various social properties help with the store's SEO, etc.? Expound if you would, please. You mean if you link from within your WordPress site to your Shopify store pages or products? I mean, yeah, it would help because you'd be backlinking to them. But I don't know enough about Shopify, guys. I don't know if those stores are SEO'd at all, or if they have SEO settings. I don't know if those stores will rank.
Yeah, well, let's just answer the general question then, and say, because I think this is basically what he's asking. I mean, what you're saying is good, and you need to, and I know there's ways you can optimize your site, but assuming something like one page per product, would it be helpful to talk about it on your WordPress site, then syndicate it out if that has a backlink back to that page that mentions your product? Yeah, which is yes.
Yes. Yeah, and they have grassroots SEO module. Like you can actually you can tinker a little bit when it comes to generating a product. You can tinker a little bit with the content of the product, like as an usual e-commerce solution like H1s, YouTube videos, whatever, and then you can tinker a little bit with the description, the title tags, and that's pretty much it. I mean, it's not that developed on the SEO side of things as of yet. So yeah, the best way to go would be, as Adam was saying, to push link shoes from your blog into your Shopify and then from the IFTTT syndication network too.
Yeah, a caveat that I think I speak for myself. I do not currently have a Shopify store. I have used one, but it's been a while. So you should definitely look into this. But I know some people were just setting up, which is maybe what you're doing, but putting their blog on a WordPress subdomain. since
Yeah.
that was way easier to do instead of using the native blog. But again, it just depends what you need and how you want to do it.
Yeah, I would say work on ranking a WordPress site for your keywords, and then like iframe in the Shopify page or something right on. You know what I mean? Like right onto the page that you're ranking, so that you can still benefit from the traffic. But
Yeah.
it's
Or you can also mask a domain, like or a subdomain or a domain like your domain.com would be WordPress, and then you can mask with a CNAME something like /shop or shop.yourdomain.com, and then you're sending traffic from your main domain to your
subdomain.
Shopify. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can do that. I set up a Shopify store and never did anything with it, but and I use my own domain and everything too. So yeah, you can certainly do that. That would work. Mike says competitive local primary keyword. Okay, chiropractor staying below page 20 over 1 year. Wow. All kinds of related long tails that include primary keywords ranking and in 3-box. On-page SEO, right on. Been doing this for 20 years with multiple sites. Primary keywords in 3-box. Okay, in page 1, one IFTTT branded network, one IFTTT linked persona tier 2 network, driving me nuts solution, PBNs, or more IFTTT networks. He says curated post 2 to 3 times per week. Look, if you've got a site that you're doing all this work to and you can't get above page 20, it's probably one of those random ranking factor domains that just aren't going to rank. And I mean, like there's a lot of variables here that we're going to have to make some assumptions here. But I mean, there's a ton of things I would do. Look at backlink profile. Take a look at on page. Make sure certainly that there's no sort of manual penalties. I'm assuming you're aware of all of that and that you don't have any indication of any sort of penalties. But if you're talking about over 1 year, you're constantly posting, curated posts, you're keeping the activity, then sometimes it's just a domain isn't going to rank, period. I've had that happen, guys. We've had even mastermind members that we've talked about the same idea with that have gone out and 301 or cloned the site that they were having trouble with and then installed it on a new domain and then 301 the old domain to the new one and end up having the site rank. And that's like part of what Terry Kyle talks is the random ranking factor. Sometimes that happens. You just get a dud domain, like a domain that just for whatever reason Google's not going to rank, and there's no rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. In fact, the best way to go, he would tell you that before even mounting, if it is your own domain. Now, this will not happen for a client, but if it is your own, like your own project, instead of going full force for one domain, try 5 domains, and the ones that are ranked right off the bat, you can use those. It will be much easier to rank those domains. That also happens with subdomains and internal pages. Sometimes Google will favor an About Me page, and it will rank the About Me page instead of the page that you are trying to rank. So instead of rowing against the current, you can do that. You can actually use those domains, so those pages that are favorable to Google, to sell your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Mike is an RYS Academy. Hint, hint.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, Mike, there's so many variables there that are like questions left unanswered right here about, I mean, because there's, one of the things, if you're in the master class, like this is something we could audit, do a site audit on and start giving you some ideas if you don't mind sharing it within a small master class group. They're not public, it's a closed group, but that's something that we could do a site audit for you and bring you on to the webinar, ask you some questions and things like that. Take a look at your site, your backlink profile, and give you some suggestions. But again, with such limited information, and me just assuming that everything else is okay, it could be that it's just a shitty domain. Like it's just one of those domains that Google just does not like, and that does happen from time to time, guys. So. Ryan says, I know we've got to go in just a couple minutes. I see a couple questions that I want to get to really quick. Hey, dudes, when checking domains from Bluechip, better to go by Fresh Index and Majestic. That's what I do, Ryan. I go by Fresh Index, and I usually look at the www.version. However, I do like to take just a really quick glance at all, both fresh and historic, plus www.version and non-www.version, and take a look at all 4 of them. But typically, my deciding metrics are going to be based on the fresh index with the www.version of the domain. Okay. Hey, Marco, good idea to spam keyword stuffed iframes with FCS. I know it's a complex question, plus opens a can of more questions, but wondering general opinion.
Yes.
Yes.
But it's an even better idea to hit the original iframe, the stuffed iframe, and then the places where the iframe is going to get embedded, assuming that you are going to embed the iframe all over the place, which is what you should be doing. You hit everything, because what's going to benefit from all that is the iframe destination, or where the iframe originates.
Yep. All right, this is the last question, guys. I saw this one. That's the one I wanted to get to. But Joe Rodriguez says, okay, so believe it or not, some of us are still beginners and are still struggling financially. So what I'd like to know is, what is the cheapest and fastest path to cash using the Semantic Mastery strategies? I'm an IFTTT V2 member. Okay, Joe, then go back and watch the monetization webinar that we just did. I think it was a month ago today, actually, that we did it. It's in the updates section, it's either in the updates section or in the advanced section of the IFTTT V2 training. If you haven't watched it, go watch it, because it was an entire hour specifically about how to monetize and make money from IFTTT networks. My suggestion is the quickest and fastest way, in my opinion, is to build out your own networks that you use to rank either client videos or lead gen videos or both, and then contact video production companies, local video production companies, and sell wholesale SEO services to them. Let them handle all of the sales to their existing client base and all potentially new clients, but let them handle the sales and sell, mark up your services and then sell it to them, because that way you're not handling sales or anything else. All you need to do is build up and maintain a powerful network. Right, so that's one of the quickest ways I can think of. Either that, or just sell IFTTT networks to local businesses. That's probably your quickest way to make money, because you can just sell networks whether they perform well or not. In other words, whether they start ranking anything or not. When building out a network for yourself, you're going to want to build it up to where it's powerful, so that it makes it easy to rank stuff whenever you just upload or live stream to your channel. However, if you want to make money immediately, sell. And in fact, you could buy networks from us for, and sell them to clients. Again, I sell networks for $700, and I can have them built for about $50, a tier 1 branded network, right? So that's a $650 markup. And there was a point in time when I was selling, half a dozen to 10 of those networks per month to local businesses a couple years ago. But now I don't do it because I don't do near as much client work. But my point is that's probably the quickest way, is go sell networks to clients. But otherwise, contact local video production companies and try to negotiate an arrangement with them. I love that model, and it's a very simple model, and all the sales and everything are all handled for me. So, but go back and watch the monetization webinar. We spent a whole hour on that. So, okay, guys, we ran out of time, so we appreciate everybody being here and participating, and we will see Masterclass members in about 5 minutes. Everybody else, we'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. See ya.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.